Tonight at 5, verdict watch in the Henry Segura quadruple murder trial as he waits for a second time for a jury to decide his fate.
And flooding fears have a Big Bend community looking for relief. What's being done tonight in Steinhatchee to keep families safe?
And on Capitol Hill, impeachment hearings are underway. What we've learned in this latest round. Your News at 5 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Abby Maurer.
And I'm Ava Van Valen.
Well, today marks 9 years since Brandy Peters and her 3 children were killed inside their home. It's also the start of jury deliberations for the man who police say murdered the family over child support. Tonight we are on verdict watch.
ABC 27's Jada Williams joins us live from outside the Leon County Courthouse. And Jada, this is the second time around for Segura. What stood out to you?
Well, it's been very clear from the beginning that both sides are in this to win. Now, while the attorneys were civil towards each other during the trial, today things got a little more heated. Nate Prince, that's Segura's attorney, raised his voice during his closing statements, and he even hit the podium at times. He says there is no way that Segura killed Brandy Peters over child support, and that he is in a similar situation with the mother of another one of his children. On the other side, prosecutors say that Segura was there when Peters died and has lied throughout the case. At one point, both sides also focused on Segura losing his temper last week in court.
What you got to see is a true Henry Segura. The man that gets frustrated and snaps and gets angry. Snaps at Judge Hankinson. I'm a grown man. Imagine what he would do to Brandy Peters.
Look, as he told you himself on the stand, he's been in custody for 8 years for an offense he didn't commit. Who wouldn't be frustrated under those circumstances?
Here's something to note. This is a 6-person jury. It was a decision made in hopes of getting a verdict sooner. Segura's original trial was ruled a mistrial after 19 hours of deliberation. If that jury comes back with a verdict and it's guilty, then Henry Segura will go on to the sentencing phase. That means that the jury will have to decide if he will be put to death for those crimes or if he will just spend the rest of his life in prison. Reporting live from the Leon County Courthouse, Jada Williams, WTXL, ABC 27.
Brandy Peters and her children were murdered on this day in 2010. Segura was arrested 10 months later in Minnesota. His case first went to trial in July 2017. The jury deliberated for 19 hours, but ultimately ended in a mistrial.
A hearing planned for the man accused of stabbing 5 co-workers at Dyke Industries is put on hold. The hearing is delayed until Antoine Brown's attorney gets the results of his competency evaluation from a doctor. Brown pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of first-degree murder for the September 11th stabbings. The next hearing is set for December 17th.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement says they did conduct background checks on the finalists for Tallahassee's police chief. This after the Florida Police Chiefs Association says they did not. Leon County Commissioner Bill Proctor said those background checks should have been done before the finalists were chosen. He says the search committee should have known that Major Lawrence Revel shot and killed a man while on duty back in 1996. FDLE confirms a city official did pick up those background checks today.
Opening lines of communication. That's what the Tallahassee business community is doing with law enforcement to help fight crime in the capital city. Members of the Network of Entrepreneurs and Business Advocates, or NEBA Tallahassee, sat down with Leon County Sheriff Walt McNeil, Tallahassee Interim Police Chief Steve Outlaw, and State Attorney Jack Campbell to talk about criminal justice concerns on Tuesday. Campbell says business owners are interested in what's happening and why it's happening when it comes to crime, and how, as an organization, they can help.
For this to be a vibrant community, we want it to be a safe community, a place where you can recruit outstanding candidates to open new businesses, to work in your business, and so they want to see us be successful.
Some of the topics discussed at today's meeting were human trafficking, laws regarding carrying a concealed weapon, and creating more jobs to help tackle poverty. Well, it was a beautiful sunny day today. It was a little brisk in the shade.
Hey, you know what? It's November. We can expect some cooler temperatures. Well, let's see what we have in store tonight with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse. Cass.
Oh, when you weren't in the shade, you probably encountered a lot of bright sunlight. That really helped to give temperatures support to rise to milder levels compared to what we had this morning. Many areas starting off in the upper 30s, believe it or not, but that's what dry air can do this time of year. It cools down rapidly with little wind, and of course with the dry air, you also have this scene. No rain across the region on First Alert Titan radar, where we are not noticing any kind of precipitation and hardly any substantial cloud cover. Just a few streaking across our interior South Georgia communities along US 82. That's about the only big moisture source there is anywhere nearby. And as a result of all the sunshine and a slight west wind, our temperatures have been able to climb rather steadily this afternoon. We're in the 60s across South Georgia, closer to 70 in some areas of the Big Bend. As we go into the night, we will have a continuation of a clear sky, and that will support falling temperatures. So by midnight, we'll be around 50. Maybe a few inland pockets could be a little bit lower in the 40s. All of us reach the 40s, even if you're at the coast, and we'll have a bright amount of sunshine once again for tomorrow with just a few clouds as temperatures climb close to average. We'll discuss more about this warmer spell and when the next rain chance comes in your First Alert forecast.
The Steinhatchee community is working to resolve the drainage issues that have put streets underwater several times this year.
That's right. ABC 27's Nathan Dean is in Taylor County tonight to explain what the community believes it can do to solve this problem. Nathan.
That's right, guys. It's been an issue. We all know it, and we've seen it. And after today, the Taylor County Commission meeting with the leaders speaking about it said the plan to fix it is in the early stages. Now, right now, it's just a numbers game for them as they're talking about how much the cost will be, as that's not even something we can talk about yet. Now, right now, the engineers are looking at Steinhatchee, trying to figure out what can be done to improve the drainage. Sean Murphy, the District 3 County Commissioner for Taylor County, says the recent storms caught attention and showed leaders that the scope of this project is bigger than anyone anticipated.
Ended up becoming a blessing in disguise, in which it showed the necessity to revamp the whole infrastructure in Taylor County, not just District 3 and not just Steinhatchee, to have an overlapping effect in the whole county in its entirety.
And Murphy did go on to say that the severity of the problems in Steinhatchee make that area the primary focus for the infrastructure upgrades. Now, coming up later tonight at 6 o'clock, I talked to somebody who lives here in Steinhatchee and what they've seen and what they think about for the future to resolving these issues. Live in Steinhatchee, Nathan Dean, WTXL ABC 27.
Thank you, Nathan. The City of Tallahassee's Independent Ethics Board will narrow down its list of candidates for a new ethics officer this evening. There were 8 people scheduled for interviews, which have been going on since 4 at City Hall. Tonight at 6, our Christian Thomas has a live report from today's meeting.
Transportation leaders are moving to improve systems around the Big Bend area, and the Suncoast Connector could be part of that. Today, the Capital Region Transportation Planning Agency discussed a 150-mile extension. If approved, the Suncoast Parkway would no longer stop in Citrus County. It would continue north to join I-10 in Jefferson County. The plan is getting support because it provides additional options during hurricane evacuations. The CRTPA voted in favor of the project in today's meeting.
It definitely improves the quality of life. Of course, the issue we always face is funding or lack thereof. So it's always a lot of work to get these projects to fruition. For a lot of these projects today is really that first step, that planning stage, and we've still got several years before a lot of them will come to fruition.
The next step in the process, a few more meetings will take place in the near future to go more into detail on how this project will look. The task force behind this project will then have to provide the governor's office a detailed report by October of next year. No word yet on when those meetings will be.
Well, it is a big day for us here at ABC 27. This is video of our set coming down last month, and as you can see, a lot of work went into the changes that you see today, and we didn't just change our set.
We've changed the way we do weather. Cass, you are in the new First Alert Weather Center with a few new things for us to check out.
That's for sure. We've upgraded our computer equipment in an effort to continue to give you the most reliable weather information, especially when there's active weather. And that's what our Link system is customized to do, not just to tell you that there's storms out there, but to highlight exactly where they are. And this new system gives us deep analysis tools. When there's active weather, we can actually pinpoint exactly where these storms will go, right down to the town in our outlying areas and urban centers. Although there's no storms right now, we have analysis tools that can highlight where there's highest shear, hail coverage, even lightning. But on days like today, when the weather is rather nice, we can just access some of the picturesque scenes across our area, like in St. Teresa from the WeatherStem network of cameras, just to show off the full sunshine. So our system has a lot of tools, and we are very excited to help to bring that weather information straight to you in a more precise way.
All right, thank you, Kaz. And for a closer look at all the cool changes we've made, just go to our website, WTXL.tv.
200 people evacuated and 2 flights delayed at a Florida airport. It was all over something most of us use every day.
Plus, as you're planning your Black Friday shopping this year, there are some deals you may want to avoid, what to stay away from, and when you can get the best deals. Heard from 2 key witnesses who were on that call July 25th with President Trump and the president of Ukraine. That call is the basis of the impeachment inquiry. Jennifer Williams, a special advisor to the vice president, told Congress that she has participated in more than a dozen presidential phone calls, but found the July 25th phone call unusual because it involved a domestic political matter. Also listening in on that phone call was Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, a decorated combat veteran who corroborated much of Williams' account.
It is improper for the President of the United States to demand a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen and a political opponent.
Vindman says he reported his concerns to the proper channels on July 10th and then again on July 25th. Williams and Vindman's testimony raised the stakes for the most anticipated witness the public will hear from this week, EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland. Democrats are preparing to press him about his direct contact with President Trump regarding Ukraine. Georgia health officials say that a family of 5 is likely the source of a measles outbreak in a metro Atlanta county.
They say the family seems to have gotten measles when they traveled out of state. 2 other families in Cobb County were affected. All 11 people who got sick from that outbreak either weren't vaccinated or it was unclear if they were vaccinated. Measles is very contagious. The U.S. has seen over 1,000 cases recently thanks to outbreaks in unvaccinated communities.
A very suspicious package forced an evacuation of Daytona Beach International Airport today.
But it turned out to just be over a bottle of lotion. Sheriff's investigators say it happened around 6:15 this morning. About 200 passengers and workers evacuated the airport. The Volusia County Sheriff's Office said the lotion bottle was described as a possible detonator during the screening process. The bomb squad was called and 2 flights were delayed. Boeing might be starting to emerge from its 737 MAX nightmare. The company has taken orders for 60 of the jets. Boeing has struggled since aviation authorities worldwide grounded the 737 MAX in March after it was involved in 2 deadly crashes. The Federal Aviation Administration still won't let it fly in the U.S. Ben & Jerry's says its ice cream comes from happy cows.
But a new lawsuit alleges that might not be the case. James Ehlers ran for governor of Vermont last year. He says the slogan is false advertising. According to his lawsuit, less than half of the milk and cream Ben & Jerry's uses comes from farms that participate in Vermont's Caring Dairy program. He alleges the rest of it comes from factory farms. Ehlers says Ben & Jerry's customers pay a premium for the company's products because they expect its ingredients to come from humane suppliers. And if you are making a list of Black Friday deals, be sure to check it twice. Not every sale is as good as it seems. Consumer experts say you may get a better deal on certain items like sneakers by waiting. Athletic shoe prices tend to rise in the weeks leading up to the holidays, so advertised sales prices can be an illusion. They see similar trends in warm weather clothing like jackets and boots. And if you can tough it out, waiting until January will pay off. Experts also recommend waiting until later in the winter for the best prices on things like furniture, calendars, and of course, toys.
looking ahead into this evening, we'll maintain a clear sky, and as the sun sets, the temperatures will fall pretty steadily because the air is dry. There won't be much wind. We'll have calm air at times, and that will enhance the cooling overnight. So lower to mid 40s very likely. Then the sun rises, and it will be another bright day for your midweek as our temperatures climb through the 50s. And it's clear, it's bright, it's sunny, and it's 69 degrees at Tallahassee International. Dew point is at 36. That gives us relative humidity of 30%. The wind is light coming in from the west, and a west wind makes a big difference this time of year. It can make the difference between getting close to 70 or maybe just staying in the 50s and 60s. But this time it's a warm wind because many areas west of the capital region are warmer than we are, and that's where the winds are coming from. So this is going to be a warming influence for our region as we enter the next several days. In fact, there's really no new dose of cold air coming our way, at least not for the remainder of this work week, it appears. High pressures to the south of the region, and that's why our west winds are in place. That's the clockwise flow around that high as it scoots over the peninsula. So that will help in the modification of the air mass, and it will also help to keep it dry. The scattered cloud cover, not all that abundant, just a few across interior sections of South Georgia with the departing upper trough and the moisture that goes along with it. So what it means is stable, settled weather for us for the foreseeable future. Right through the next 12 to 24 hours, we'll have a very light wind flow, and again, even calm at times. The center of the high will be close to the area, and that will help to at least give us a little extra dryness and calmness in the region for your Wednesday, and that will support another sunny day with light north to northeast winds as we transition into your Thursday. The high starts to move out, and that will help to introduce a little more upper level moisture and then a change in the wind flow. That can make it maybe a little more east, which adds some lower level moisture, and eventually we'll get into a frontal system that will start to move in our general direction. But tomorrow, if you have the opportunity, you might want to head to the coast because we'll have plenty of sunshine, a low rip current risk in general, and an air temperature near 70 degrees. Offshore, just keep in mind that the breezes could be a little elevated for tonight, 8 to 18 knot winds, no advisories. Winds will shift from northwest to north-northeast by the afternoon hours. Tonight we'll drop to about 42 degrees. We'll have light northwest winds and again, even calm at times. Not many clouds around. It will be mainly clear. And then tomorrow, going right back to where we are essentially right now, in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. It'll stay mainly sunny. We'll have just a couple clouds here and there from time to time. The forecast through the next 3 days, steady warming each and every day. We'll get solidly into the 70s most likely as we approach the end of this work and school week. And then into the weekend, that's when we get in on more warmth before our front starts to come in. So that means a rain chance will start to enter the picture by Saturday. We will start to have a cool down. So this warmer spell is just temporary, but at least it's not going to be drastically colder for the early part of next week.
Thanks, Castle. It's been months in the making, but we are finally on our new set.
That's right. It took a lot of work to get us here today. Here is a look at how it all came together.
Give me chills.
I know, me too. I can't believe that transformation.
I think I saw me like briefly just in an awe because of the weather center and how it's built and all the things that gone into it.
Yeah, we got to thank our engineering crew. They've been here day and night, constantly working. I mean, everybody here at the station has been working, even up from our general manager to news. Everybody's been here working around the clock, working to make sure that this the set looks as amazing as it does.
Definitely paid off all the hard work.
Yeah. All right. So we got more coming for you. You can see much of it more throughout the newscast. Well, coming up, a Valdosta 9-year-old won quite the prize for fishing, but she's not keeping it for herself. Find out who she wants to help.
And the Mega Millions jackpot, it is up to $192 million. That's a cash option of about $129 million. And the next drawing is tonight during your news at 11. Catch it right here on ABC 27.
Hurricane Dorian victims. Check it out. Presley won a $5,000 scholarship from the Coastal Conservation Association's Star Fishing Tournament. She won by submitting pictures of the many fish that she's caught throughout the tournament. But when she got the award at the CCA banquet, she said she wanted it all to go toward Bahamas relief efforts. How sweet, and especially towards helping kids her age.
That's great. Now, this FedEx plane is transporting a very special passenger, Bebe the panda. The Smithsonian National Zoo's beloved bear is moving to China. It's part of a cooperative breeding agreement with the Wildlife Conservation Association. Now, all giant panda cubs born at the zoo move to China for breeding when they're 4 years old. Bebe will be riding in high style for this 16-hour journey, and he'll have 66 pounds of bamboo snacks and water to enjoy on the flight.
So it's all planned and intentional. It wasn't because the branch broke when the panda was on that one. But nonetheless, a very nice evening setting up for the area. We have a clear sky. There's hardly any kind of big moisture source. So, of course, you would suspect it would stay precipitation free. That's exactly what we have. But with the dryness of the air, we're going to see those mild temperatures falling pretty steadily once the sun sets. So we'll go from the 60s where we are now into the 50s, maybe just about 3 to 4 hours worth of 50-degree temperatures, and then leveling off in the overnight period in the mid and even some lower 40s. If you're in outlying areas, southeast Big Bend, interior South Georgia, it could be a few degrees lower than the mid 40s, but it looks like we'll avoid a freeze for a good buffer for most areas.
All right, thank you, Kaz, and thank you for joining us.
Your news at 5:30 is up next.